So if you like me, you probably like an AK. If you like an AK, you probably like a good Krink. Suchka, AKS 74U, whatever you want to call it. They are wonderful little guns, super lightweight, super compact, super handy, just everything you could possibly want in just a teensy tiny little package. However, like with most AKs, they suffer from one fatal flaw, that is the iron sights are hot garbage. How do we fix that? Well, being the modern era, we have technology. And as you might imagine, one would be very inclined to throw a red dot on one of these. There are several ways of going about this, but in my opinion, not too many good ones. A teeny tiny little package like this really demands a mini red dot sight, that is to say an RMR or similar footprint optic. Anything bigger than that, and it just kind of ruins the aesthetic. So what options do we have? Well, we always have the traditional side rail here, but that has a few problems. With the Krinks in particular, the rear sight is far more rearward than they typically are with AKs, so you're limited in terms of which ones you can actually put on there. And there are some that have rearward mounting sections, but honestly those are a little clunky, they're a little heavy, and they just don't look right, in my opinion. Not only that, but this being a side folder, that rail would interfere with that. Moving forward then, we have the top cover, which is a common replacement for Picatinny style rails with, say, a TWS dogleg style rail. But once again, you'd be completely removing the rear sight and killing the aesthetic. So in my opinion, no go. Which leaves us with one final option, that being the gas tube here. You could replace that with, say, an Ultimac or something similar, a wraparound or shroud of some variety. But once again, taking the wood off of this and replacing it with something all tactical, not really my aesthetic. So what are we left with that won't ruin either the practicality of the rifle or the overall aesthetic of it? Well, we have one other option, that being either the Stormworks style or Zunico style attachment for the dust cover. That is to say, right between the rear sight and the hinge. It's got quite a bit of beefy material in there that you can drill and tap or clamp on, depending on which one you go with. Let's take a look. And there she is. Now, if you ask me personally, that's not too intrusive. It kind of mucks with the aesthetics a little bit, but it's a Picatinny rail. There's only so much you can do with it. But hold on a minute. Let's put an optic on this thing and see how that all looks. And there you have it. Let's take a closer look here. So you've got the Picatinny mount, and then you've got the adapter plate mount that mounts to that Picatinny, and then the red dot, in this case, Holosun 407C, which mounts to that mounting plate, which mounts to the Picatinny. It's kind of a jumbled mess, to be honest with you. In my personal opinion, there's just way too much going on there. Now, this is better than most other options out there, in my opinion, but it could be better. This is just a stack on a stack on a stack, which just doesn't work. So what if we cut out the middleman? What if, instead of the optic sitting so ridiculously high that the base of it is higher than the iron sights themselves, so if you want a co-witness, good luck. What if we just got rid of all that and made it a direct mount that for some reason nobody makes? So that's kind of the idea at play here. I sent off an email to Stormworks asking if they would make anything of the sort, heard absolutely nothing back, and whipped up a little something of my own. Unfortunately, sending that off to be machined will take quite a while, so I'll see you in about a month. In the meantime, here's just a little sneak peek of what I whipped up in SolidWorks. So we've just gotten in our wonderfully machined piece from my good friends over in China. It's very well put together. All the contours are exactly as designed. And for reference here, this is our original stack of just nastiness, the pillar leading up into infinity. And there's our replacement piece. As you can see, we've managed to squeeze out about almost a full ½ inch of height there, just cut out completely. But does it work? Well, here's our RMR, and of course when I say RMR, I mean Holosun 407C because I'm poor, but let's find out here. And there we go. That is a lovely, lovely fit. Obviously this is in the white, so it needs a few things before it's actually properly done. It needs finished in probably just an Lumihard 2 I'm gonna slap on top of it. And additionally, every single one of these holes here, all 4 of them, the 3 for the mount and the 2 for the RMR itself, need threaded in a 6x32. Just tap that real quick and that's all it needs. Now, if any of you are familiar with the outsourcing machining process, you'll be more than familiar that making a single piece is prohibitively expensive. So, I got two. Yes, this one is already finished. Got it nicely coated with an alumihide too. That's been curing for a few days. All these holes are drilled and tapped, and let's mount this thing up, see how it looks. And there we have our optic all mounted up. And if you ask me, that looks really, really slick. It's not really obtrusive into the original aesthetic of it at all. It just kind of fits, right? Fits very, very well. The best part of this entire arrangement is this right here. As you can see, it's very, very minor, but those iron sights, ooh, they do just barely co-witness there. Just a slight teeny tiny amount, but hey, it's certainly something and definitely usable. And there's our dot. That's basically it. So if you find yourself wanting one of these, I have absolutely no intention whatsoever of patenting or copywriting or sitting on this design for any reason whatsoever. No, it's going to be completely open source. I'm going to throw it up on SolidWorks, and you're more than welcome to make one yourself. Now, obviously, not everyone has the ability to machine these things. I got this one made through 3D Hubs, now just known as Hubs. But for two of them, the price got down to, I think, about $50, $60 a pop, which is rather expensive, of course, but the whole deal there is buying in bulk, right? So, you buy a couple hundred of these, well, the price gets down to about $5, $10 a pop. So hey, if somebody wants to do a group order of those, you're more than welcome to, or just get one for yourself. Whatever you want to do, doesn't matter. But hey, something of this profile, it's really hard to beat. Take care.